Hello, and welcome to B2B Topics and Tips, bringing you the latest buzz about small business topics, tips, and expert interviews. Watch live or watch later. Drop any questions or thoughts into the comments. And if you're watching later, you can use hashtag replay when you drop those questions or thoughts. Hi, I'm Melissa St. Clair, Communications and Standard Operating Procedure Specialist at Paper Chaser Biz LLC, a certified military spouse-owned enterprise. And it is my pleasure today to welcome to B2B Marcy Stahl. Welcome, Marcy.
Thank you, Melissa. I'm thrilled to be here with you.
So Marcy Stahl is with Joyful Girl Enterprises, and she is a brilliant business coach. And how do I know that? Because she's coached me in the past. So Marcy, I'm going to read your bio so that I get all the creds right, and then we will launch into our discussion. So I am pleased to introduce Marcy Stahl. After 2 decades of trying to look like everybody else, Marcy started figuring out her business superpower, helping high-achieving women figure out their superpower, form of genius, and build their career and brand on top of that. Through 15 years in coaching, she has helped her clients experience results like getting clear on their zone of genius work and abilities, crafting a clear message and brand, becoming more confident at work and personally, doubling their personal sales. Before that, she co-founded a government contract firm and helped grow that company to over $1 million in revenue. Outside of work, she's reading 3 to 5 books a week, playing with her 2 cats, and caregiving for her father. So Marcy, thank you again for being here today. And today's topic is, sure, you can do it all, but should you? Marcy, let's get started. Any opening remarks?
Yes, this is a problem that many high-achieving women suffer from, because when you're good at a lot of different things, it's tempting to do it all. Particularly if you're new at your business, you may be thinking, well, I need to save money, so I'm just going to do everything myself. Or there can be temptations later on when you think it'll just be faster if I do it all myself rather than train somebody else to do it. And that just leads you down a rabbit hole of wasted energy and effort. So that's sort of the framework around why this is tempting and also a bit of what the problem can look like.
Yes. Okay, so my first question is, what's wrong with doing it all?
Yeah. My belief is that each of us has a certain kind of business superpower, and that's what we're really here to get done here on Earth. And I encourage, if you're listening to this, to just take a minute and really think about why you started your business. What did you want to create as a result of your business? For me, I do business coaching with women entrepreneurs and corporate women. And at first I thought, well, the reason I started this business is because in my prior government contracting startup, we had a lot of smart women consultants help us. I learned a lot from the School of Hard Knocks, and I thought, okay, I want to help other smart women not have to go through some of the pain that I went through. But then when I really kept reflecting on it more deeply, what I realized is one of the things that really makes me angry in the world is inequality and unfairness. And the fact that women make less money than men. The fact that women often have less decision-making power than men. The fact that women are less well represented at the higher ranks in companies. All of that just thoroughly pisses me off. And so sort of the deeper reason behind my business is that I want to help women feel more confident, make more money, and get more decision-making power, because I firmly believe, excuse me, the world is only going to be a better place when more women have more power. So the time that I spend buying my own office supplies, figuring out how to edit my own videos, I could go on. All of that is time. I'm not actually helping women feel more confident, make more money, etc. And the same thing is true for each of us in our own way. The time you spend doing tasks that aren't in your zone of genius, that's not really moving your business forward for you as the CEO, but in the impact that you want in the world.
So true. And brava to you for peeling back that onion and continuing to peel. Yes. And then what an onion it is, right?
Yes.
The inequity. Yeah. So then my second question is, what should business owners or working women be doing if not everything?
One of my favorite all-time descriptions of what you should delegate is super simple. It's just one sentence. Anything that does not require your unique personality. So my unique personality is not required to buy office supplies or clean my office. It's not required to post stuff on LinkedIn. It's required to create stuff to post,
right,
but not to do the actual posting.
Awesome.
So, one thing we all get trapped in is mistaking the urgency of something for the importance of something. And modern technology, every single thing that's on your phone is designed to suck you into the feeling of urgency. Oh, I've got to check that right now. What if it could be blah, blah, blah. However, that's all taking us away from what's really important. And so again, if what is really important is to do the work and create the result that you most care about in your business. So for me, again, helping women feel more confident, make more money, have more impact. You've got your own version of that. If your task, on your to-do list isn't directly contributing toward that, then you've got to really look at it and consider whether it needs to either be deleted, just it doesn't need to be done at all, or can it be delegated? And that's where having really reliable expert support can revolutionize your life by giving you back the time to really stay in your lane, to stay in your zone of genius work, and just stick to that, not to all the other extraneous stuff.
I love that, because so many of us value being proactive. And sometimes I think that can lead us to being reactive when maybe that is not expected on the receiving end. It's a pressure we're putting on ourselves to respond quickly or such. So, yes, good stuff.
Good. Yeah. And just speaking about the reactivity versus the proactivity, I was thinking about this just last week. Someone asked me for something and I immediately felt like, oh, I've got to get it to them like today. And I started doing all that. And then I was like, let me just ask them when they need this. And it turned out they didn't need it today.
Right.
So I could really slow down, but I felt that automatic pull you're describing of,
yes.
Yeah, let me get it done fast.
Yes. So that leads to this question. What is the zone of genius thing that you keep talking about?
Yeah, thank you. Well, this is a name that I learned from the writer Gay Hendricks in one of my favorite self-help books of all time called The Big Leap. And he talks about how we're spending all of our time in one of four areas: our zone of incompetence, where we're doing things not very well. You know, for me, like fixing anything is usually in my zone of incompetence. And that's the place where you've actually spent 5 minutes elapsed time doing something, but it felt like it took 2 hours.
Mm.
So you want to stay totally out of that. Then the next area is your zone of competence, where you're okay at it, but other people do it better. And so for me, a lot of admin stuff in the office is like that. I'm okay at, you know, fixing up my Excel spreadsheet because I love Excel, you know, or organizing things, but other people do it better than me. Then there's the zone of excellence, and excellence is where you do really good work. And the tricky part, he says, is that other people really like you there. So you're probably well paid for doing this good work, but for you, it always feels like a box, like you're kind of stuck. In contrast to moving up to your zone of genius, that's where there's no limit, is what it feels like to you, you know, when you're doing your work. He describes it as like an ever upward spiral versus a box. And it's the place where your natural abilities, what your innate talents and strengths, honed by your experience, that's where you really are a genius in. And when you're there, you help create the highest and most amazing results for your clients. When you're in the other zones, it tends to not feel great for you, and it doesn't create amazing results for your clients. So he recommends aiming to spend 75 to 80% of your time just in your zone of genius. And I remember the first time I read that, when I was doing everything myself, and I was just like, is that possible? For real? Like, people could do that? And it is, and it's a process to get there. But speaking from a business coaching perspective, because that's my field, you know, the return on investment that comes from being in your zone of genius, that's what you can charge the most for. You can't charge the most for being in your zone of incompetence or competence, or often even excellence. So if you want to have the most fun, feel most at ease and most authentic in the world, and make the most money, you're going to stick to your zone of genius and leave out those other 3 zones.
I love that, because you know when you are working at that higher vibration, and as your business name says, bringing you more joy and your clients more joy, because you're just all winning when you're working together at in your zones of genius. So
Yeah,
I love
total
that.
win-win.
Yes. So thank you for going over the zone of genius and your philosophies. Do you have a business tip or tips to share with us today?
One tip I would share that's deeply connected to this is about the importance of priorities and intention. And so my personal priorities and intentions for right now are to be peaceful, profitable, and loving. And I notice how many times during the day I think to myself, okay, now I'm going to be really productive. And I'm like, Marcy, that's not the right P word. Being productive at all my non-zone of genius tasks doesn't count. So I'd really encourage you to think about what are the 2 or 3 kind of key ideas and core feelings that you most want for yourself this year, and to get in the habit of reflecting on those every single day. Because again, between this and your massive leftover to-do list from yesterday, you can go off track so fast. It can happen just in a heartbeat. And so continuing to come back to your intention, back to your key priorities, is just a major kind of inner compass that really helps you stay on that path to your zone of genius and not fall off the sides.
I love that. Such great advice. So, Marcy, how can viewers connect with you?
You can connect with me on Facebook, facebook.com/marcy.stahl. On LinkedIn, linkedin.com/Marcy Stahl. And then always through my website, which is just marcystahl.com.
That's so great. And we will be dropping those links in the comments so you can just click away and connect with Marcy. And Marcy, do you have an offer to share with viewers today?
Yes, I mentioned how emphatic I am about wanting to support women to have more confidence, because really the ability to make more money starts from within. It starts from inner confidence. And so through my work with clients over the years, I came to see some really common patterns in women that get in the way of that inner confidence. And I have a really fun, short self-assessment on my site at marcystahl.com/quiz that when you answer, I think it's either 12 or 15 questions. It's short. They're multiple choice. So no studying required in advance. When you answer those questions, it will come back and let you know what is the major pattern that's blocking your confidence and success and income. So again, that's at marcystahl.com/quiz.
Awesome. And we will drop that link into the comments as well. I love quizzes, especially when you can derive more about yourself. So for sure. Well, Marcy, thank you again for joining me today. And
thank
viewers,
you, Melissa.
yes, viewers, thank you for watching live, or if you're watching later, again, thank you and take care.